Hey everyone, we're here this morning. It is day 2 that we're able to get into the upstairs unit. The tenants moved out a couple of days ago, and Robin and I have just been going over kind of an initial thought and plan for how we're gonna handle doing some renovations and some updates to our second unit. So we're gonna go upstairs. There's a video that Robin took yesterday of me just pulling this carpet out real quick. That'll probably end up going on YouTube. Just whatever.
That carpet was very gross.
Yeah, the carpet was disgusting. It was coming up in places, so it was both a safety hazard and just a hazard to the eyes. So, so we took that up, and as we kind of go up, I'll probably just, mention what we plan on doing with that, and then we'll see what's going on upstairs. But so as we do, there's carpet on this landing down here as well. We know that there's the original hardwood throughout the house, so we expected to see it here. We may clean this up. Not really sure how we're going to do this transition here because we don't plan on doing the hardwood, refinishing the hardwood in the entryway right now, but maybe we will, maybe we won't. Now that we've covered this to try and see, figure out how we're going to transition this. You got the original pine stair treads here, and you can see the holes where the spindles were for the original hand railing. The handrail would have been like here, so it's a very narrow, I think probably 2 foot wide. Pretty standard for the time. This house was built in 1900, so pretty standard for the time to have a really narrow stairwell, but it's got the original stair treads on here. We're probably going to take them off and replace them with just pretty standard treads nowadays, either oak or pine. That you can get them at Lowe's or whatever, and they look exactly the same as this. So
Shit, calm down. Puts in there, wants to come out.
So yeah, I mean we've got to replace these. 2/3 or a third of them are completely cracked in half, and we're not going to spend the time to clean these up. It's just a lot of work that we don't think is worth it. So unfortunately that also means we got to spend the money to replace them to get the look we want.
Yeah, and also be more durable and all that with new, fresh ones.
Yeah, we don't have to hear the creaky stairs while we're downstairs and somebody else is walking up here. As far as just behind Robin here, it's just a hallway. That's a really low head height right there, that ceiling. There's a lot of handprints and stuff on it just because of how low it is. And, it's just anyone kind of does it. So we're actually gonna probably take that framing back and kind of angle it down a little bit so the head height is just better. You get a little pep in your step one day and you might go a little too happy and hit your head, which I've actually seen our old tenants do it.
Also, if you're just tall.
Well, that too. I'm short, so I don't have to worry about it. Cool, yeah, so here we are in the kitchen.
I've already done a lot of cleaning yesterday. It was left very, very, very gross. And if you want to see pictures of that, I have them, but I will spare you. I filled this trash can with bleach water, and I shined these appliances up because they were probably almost new when the tenants moved in, and they did not look it.
Yeah, no, they were disgusting.
Yeah, and the cabinets, everything. So it still is gonna need a final clean when we're done. Like I wiped down everything, but I got off a lot of gross stuff.
Yeah, just imagine like the look of the inside of that cabinet is basically what
The entire place looked
the
like.
entire place looked like.
Ooh, yeah, they didn't tell us that there was a leak under the sink, and you know what happens when you don't fix a leak? Everything underneath it rots out
Yeah, so
and molds.
gotta fix that. There's another leak issue that we weren't informed about.
Yeah, tell your landlords if anything's wrong so they can fix it.
Yeah,
Please.
I mean, we would rather fix it personally, anyways. We would rather fix it and take care of the issue before it becomes, a structural issue and something that just is, more costly than it, could have been initially. So, so here in the kitchen, the cabinets are in pretty good shape. We got to touch them up. We're going to add a cabinet over this recirculating vent hood, and we're actually going to replace it just with the same thing. We'll probably end up hard venting one out eventually, but for time's sake, because we're giving ourselves about 3 months here, we're going to try and just get it up to date for now and go through a tenancy, however, you know, if it's a year or more, whatever, and then kind of do some updates in the future
Yeah.
as we see fit.
Luckily, the kitchen was actually updated not too long before we bought it, so it has these like granite countertops and the dishwasher and everything. So that's pretty cool. We can just get them all shiny and new and nice looking in here.
Yeah, this unit was definitely further along as far as appliances and kitchen stuff goes, which is really cool because that can be a big cost thing. So
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, there's some water damages up here. There was a leak under the sink, a leak through the roof in one of the front bedrooms that we have to fix, and then there's a leak here that actually I believe is an issue for us downstairs. Well, there's a leak issue for us downstairs that I've kind of temporarily dealt with because we needed to get up here to see where it was coming from, and I think it's coming from here. Kind of first thoughts on that. So all that stuff's got to get fixed. Whatever, that's pretty standard house stuff.
Yeah, and this is a door to nowhere. By the
This
way.
is a door to nowhere. Well, this is a door to our kitchen roof. So our unit's kitchen is here.
Yeah.
This was an add-on. The laundry and baths were added on both, you know, up here, and this is mimicking what we have downstairs. Actually, our this mimics what we have downstairs. And yeah, so this door is actually going to get replaced with a lighted door in some fashion, and we're actually putting in to see if we can get a permit to do just kind of like some small, like little deck out here, so somebody can step out there and like have coffee in the morning or whatever. You know, put a chair out there, just something to kind of like have purpose for this door. Because eventually, what we would like to do is actually do a big deck out there, or a decent sized deck, and then have stairs that lead to the backyard, so that way the upstairs unit has access to the backyard and trash cans without having to go down and out the front and then all the way around the house. So, just those things, it's just like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to have to walk downstairs and all the way around the house to throw trash out every day or to go enjoy the yard or whatever. So, if I don't want to do it, I don't feel like, you know, there's no reason to not give that option to, you know, people who are renting from us.
Yeah,
So,
but that's a bigger project for the future. But for now, if we could get a tiny deck on there, that would at least be a start.
yeah, it'll be a start, and it'll kind of may help us know if somebody comes out here and is like, yeah, no problem, or if they're like, well, you need to we probably have to do this work to make that happen, and then just give us an idea of the reality of that, which we can make it happen if we have the money. So
Anything's possible if you got the money to pay for it.
pretty much, yeah. I'm a pretty big advocate for that as a builder. I'm just like, we can do whatever you want if it's in your budget. You know, we can make miracles happen. That's for sure. So the biggest thing in this unit for us is this bathroom. It's off the kitchen, which we find strange. I find very strange and disturbing. It's one of the biggest irks about this place. So what I really want to do is I want to close this door off, and so it's just a wall for the kitchen. And I want to put the door actually onto what's the living room. So it's a little less awkward, I feel. It's still not ideal.
Yeah, still not great, but better than the kitchen.
Better than just being in the kitchen. And I want to try and do a like short, because the living room's pretty big. I want to try, in my head, I want to do like a short kind of wall. So it's like a small little hallway right there. So it's a little more privacy. I think it's hard to explain.
Yeah, I'm not like totally understanding it yet, but we'll do some tape on the ground and lay it out. And see if
Yeah,
I
so
can-
we'll lay it out and kind of do all that stuff because I have it in my head, but you know whether it works in reality or not, we'll figure that out. But that's kind of the general idea in my head. We'll end up taking this bath has to go anyway, so we'll end up taking it out, and we'll kind of.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
This is a little representation of what everything looked like when we got in here. Ew, scary. So yes, that needs to go. This entire bathroom needs to get redone. Oh, hi. and this floor in the kitchen, by the way, I don't know if we said is gonna get replaced with just a nicer, way nicer sheet vinyl.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten it yet. So we gotta take that bath out. We're gonna do a stand-up shower in there, and with that stand-up shower, the idea is to put a door beside it. which we'll get there in a second. I'm just kind of talking because I'll probably reiterate once we get there. But the reason I'm saying all that is to give you an idea of what needs to happen here, and that is we're going to close this off, but unfortunately the ceiling height in the bathroom and this soffit right here, this is our HVAC return, and then the ceiling height in the bathroom is actually based off of the HVAC supply line. So the bathroom ceiling is really low, and actually you step down to get into it. And we're gonna, the idea here is in the kitchen, we're basically, and I think we're just gonna do this, it's a big project, but because we're gonna take this fan out of here because fans in kitchens are ridiculous in my opinion.
It's gonna go in the bedroom that doesn't have one.
Yeah, there's a bedroom up front that doesn't have one, so we're just gonna move it up there. We're gonna end up changing these are round duct vents. We're gonna change them to rectangular. We think it's just a cleaner look. And we're gonna add some canvas lighting in here, maybe a track light, something like that. But because there's so much work we are gonna kind of have to do with that, the general scope of it is take the ceiling out and lower it a foot, because this is a 9-foot ceiling, so we can get away with lowering it a foot to make it an 8-foot ceiling. And what that will allow us to do is we can run our wiring, we can run our duct lines, we can do all of our stuff that we know needs to happen here a lot easier. It'll just make it a lot easier to get to. The roof line here above this roof, because this is also an add-on that was probably added on maybe in the 1920s. This roof line is different from our big gable roof on the main part of the house, so it's really short, it's hard to access. It's like a really small crawl space up there. So if we just take the ceiling down, we have full access from here, and then we can just build a new ceiling a foot lower and kind of run everything. And what that'll allow us to do is, hopefully anyways, that'll allow us to move our HVAC supply and return lines over here into this ceiling, so then we can kind of run it down and then, you know, return it back to just kind of where everything already is going. But if we can get these two over here, that'll allow us to actually raise the bathroom ceiling, and at the same time, I should be able to move this wall over 1 foot. And what that 1 foot is going to do is allow us to get both the stand-up shower and a door on that side.
And we can raise the floor, so there's no longer a step.
And we can raise the floor.
And also note, if you don't know, 8-foot ceilings are standard, so the fact that these are 9-foot ceilings means that they're already tall, so it shouldn't really feel like anything different than normal having an 8-foot ceiling.
No, I mean, it's a really spacious kitchen, and what we're going to talk about doing also is going to add to that kind of spacious feeling. So lowering the ceiling a foot, it's not going to be a big deal. I know people love high ceilings. I love, you know.
The whole rest of the house has really even higher ceilings. So.
Yeah, and we've got 8-foot ceilings downstairs in the main hallway. You know, whatever. But 8 foot is standard nowadays, whatever. And yeah, we think the pros outweigh the cons in this situation. So the biggest pro being this friggin' dumb bathroom can get
slightly less dumb.
A lot less dumb.
It's still, again, it's still gonna be a weird placement and not the most ideal, but for what we're working with, what we're able to do right now, it's gonna be definitely an improvement.
Yeah, for the time and money right now, it's a huge improvement, and it'll set us up in the future to be able to do some stuff that we really want to do. So yeah, like Robin had mentioned, this sheet vinyl is going to come up. We're just going to inspect it for any damages once we take it up, shore up the floor if it needs it, and just replace it with a clean new sheet vinyl for now. Something that'll just kind of is less expensive and less like kind of permanent as like a hardwood or anything like that. Because there should be the original hardwood. Maybe not.
I think there is.
I don't know.
Well, that's glue. It's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure there is. I don't know why there wouldn't be.
But we're not going to get into that this go around because we're giving ourselves 3 months, and with this ceiling and bathroom, it's already a pretty big project, along with all the other little things we're going to do. So, moving on, and then just to kind of just say this now, the whole place is going to get painted basically the same as our unit is.
Stony Path.
Stony Path is the color. It's like a blue-gray. just a cool color, it's clean, whatever. So basically this door is here just because the door is here, but it's also kind of visual representation of what we're kind of thinking of doing, and that is, this is a structural beam right here, it's holding a header. So we kind of have to keep a post or column or whatever here, but we can actually take out what we're talking about doing is an arched, just kind of pass through, like basically door size, a little bigger, whatever, but it'll be arched. We think we're gonna add arches in this unit just to do it, why not?
Yeah, well, because some of the openings are really tall and don't need to be, so just to kind of make everything look a little like the transition smoother and less jarringly different open, just kind of sit up. So that'll be a pass through to the living room, which is also really nice because similarly to our unit downstairs, the way that this unit is designed is like kind of chunky and like you feel like you're constantly going around walls. So if we can not necessarily like open floor plan it, but kind of create a flow that is a lot more comfortable to move through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we like walls, but we also like purposeful walls and ease of access.
I mean, no one wants to walk around 1,000 walls if they don't have to.
Yeah, exactly. So still keep it, keep rooms visually
Defined,
as rooms, but defined, but have the access of kind of an open floor situation. So like Rob was saying, so we'll do an arch opening here. This is going to stay as some shape of a post. What she was saying is how big this opening is. We're going to kind of actually shrink it a little bit and make this arch so these two kind of mimic each other here. It's just a nice little feature and allows that kind of, movability, I guess, throughout the house. That is just a little better.
Yeah, just a better flow. A better flow.
Yeah, just a better flow. And then on the subject of case openings, we're going to add one here as well. Same thing. We're going to do just kind of a pass through arch case opening here.
That way, if you're coming from the bedrooms at the end of that hall, you don't have to walk all the way around this whole wall to come sit at wherever you put your couch. You can just kind of have a way through.
Yeah, because I mean, if we do an opening here, this is probably 7-8 feet span. Just decent size if that's where you decide you want your couch or whatever. And that allows access. There's a room on the other side of this wall that just allows access to this a little easier, like Ryan said, without having to walk across the ground. And then we're now on the other side of the wall where this is the bathroom and this is where I want to put the door. And then basically the door over here is still, you open the door and you're in the living room. My idea is just kind of like this wall, and again, we'll have to lay it out visually to see if it's even worth it. But if there's just kind of like a wall here that maybe leads up to.
Oh, I think I'm starting to understand better. I think I didn't understand the orientation of the wall the way you wanted it, and that's why it was confusing to me.
Yeah, because this is a big living room. We have the ability to shrink it and put a wall here and kind of create a hallway that maybe stops here, shy of the case opening that we're adding. And it just creates a little more privacy from coming out of the bathroom and walking this way.
Yeah.
People can be in the living room.
Create a little nook there. We could maybe build in a little bookcase or something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to be a weird little space. But
yeah, I mean, when you want to do things, you can just close it off, or do kind of like a built-in thing, which most likely we would do.
A feature. Ooh.
So, and then this is the supply in return that we would want to kind of move over here. So we can do.
Also, PSA, please change your air filters. The renters did not ever change their air filters, and we know this because the rental company, well, one, because it's obvious when you open it up, there's no filter in there. But the rental company that rented to them before had a program where they literally delivered them new air filters every 3 months or whatever, and we found the whole stack of them in the laundry room. So they were not doing that, and that is gross. You want clean air, people. So it takes 2 seconds. Just change your air filters.
Yeah, especially if someone's sending them to you.
Yeah, it could not be easier.
It could not be easier.
I mean, you can see how disgusting that is. We're gonna have to buy a whole new. I mean, we're gonna move it anyways, but even if we weren't, we'd have to buy a whole new cover for that because that's fucking gross, and I'm not cleaning that.
Yeah, so that's kind of the general idea here, and then I think not really other work in here, just touching stuff up, cleaning up, painting, changing that to rectangle.
But overall, it's like, you know, a pretty decent sized living room. They also, when they did the kitchen update, they put in this new vinyl flooring, which is perfectly fine. Said eventually in the grand scheme later, when we have the money to hire it out instead of doing it ourselves, we'd love to refinish the flooring up here like we did downstairs, but that is a way bigger project than is in the cards for this time around.
And I'm not doing it again.
Nope, he almost broke in half.
Another little thing is, unfortunately, it's like, you know, we're going to spend the money on it, but I'm sure some people wouldn't, but we're going to because we think it makes a huge impact. And that's all of the light switches and outlets and covers and all that stuff are almond. We're going to just switch everything over to white.
Why would people choose almond? It's just white but dirty looking.
I mean, I'm sure there's reasons, but I don't think it's any cheaper. You know,
No,
so,
it's all exactly the same.
Yeah, maybe it's because it blends in with landlord yellow.
Ugh, yeah, this ugly ass frame, walls and ceiling. Yes, the ceilings are getting painted. Surprise, surprise, ceiling white.
Yeah.
What a revelation. They make an entire white specifically for ceilings.
Yeah, so we got this hallway. Case opening will be arch case opening will be here, and then you know that way you have ease of access to the 2 back bedrooms that we're basically leaving. There's a couple of things we're doing in here. There's a closet here. We're just going to add the same double doors that we have in our unit. We're going to leave this for now unless we feel we have the time to kind of actually potentially cut it in half and put a door on this side of the closet to give this room its own closet. But
we'll just clean it up for now. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll clean it up for now. In this bedroom,
This is the tiny bedroom.
this is the tiny bedroom. Could potentially be an office if somebody, you know, wanted that. It's a small bedroom. We've seen our previous tenants had a queen size bed in here, and it would basically took up the whole bedroom. That was like all it was. Shelf is going away just because it's ugly. There's 1 window here and 2 in this other bedroom. All 3 of those are getting replaced. Just with pretty simple window kits. These are kits, so these should just come out pretty easy, and then we'll just put some updated new ones in here that aren't broken. This is the leak that we weren't told about. Obviously, you're not going to know there's a leak until something starts
leaking on you, yeah.
Until it starts leaking. Apparently, this was an issue that was going on. The only reason we even found out about it is because we came up here and did a maintenance check. 2-3 months ago.
Something like that.
And then we found out he'd been putting a bucket on it. He said it only leaked when it heavy rained, and he would just put a bucket there. And I'm just like,
I mean, if you just tell your landlord, they'll just fix it for you.
not always, but
Well, if you
would.
just tell these landlords, they'll
At
just
least
fix
tell,
it for
at
you.
least tell somebody, and then if they don't fix it, you can take it up with them at that point. But if we were told about it, which when we found out, I immediately went into the attic and did a temporary repair. So I still have to fix the issue, but at least it alleviated, I think.
Well, it's no longer leaking on his bed. That's an improvement, I would think.
So I just kind of like alleviated it. I was just like, you know, because that's going to cost us later, because if there's any structural damage from rotting and decay and stuff like that.
Yeah, which also means it's coming out of your security deposit. Maybe
Well,
not.
you know, so those can add up really quick. So I'd rather not have to deal with that. I'd rather take care of the issue, you know, when you first find out about it. I understand a lot of people don't have someone who would do that, but again,
Worth a shot. Worth a shot.
at least mention it.
Yeah.
You know, and then, yeah, take it up with them. We're in this bedroom. We've got bifold doors here and a couple other spots. Again, they're all getting replaced with the double doors that we have in our unit. Just a closet there. This mantle. Old, yes, original. People.
Painted over many times, so there's not really any charm to it or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a furnace, probably the big giant boiler we have under the house, you know, provided heat all the way up here, whatever. This was never a fireplace. It's just an old mantle, you know, it's not worth keeping. It's not worth keeping, it's not worth salvaging. I mean, somebody may want it, I doubt it. Sorry, you know, I love keeping stuff and trying to preserve the history and whatnot, but some things just aren't worth it, in my opinion. So we're actually just gonna get rid of that and then skim coat the wall just to kind of clean it up. These two windows are being replaced, like I mentioned. This wall was not originally here. This might have just been a big open.
Probably just one big primary suite at the front of the house.
Yeah, so when they added this wall, they actually took out part of this window to do that, part of the window casing. So it's kind of stupid, but
It is what it is for now.
can't do anything about that, or we're not going to do anything about that. And that's kind of it. Am I missing anything?
The attic ladder, I guess, is the only other thing.
I'm gonna add an attic ladder for ease of access. There's an access panel, but it's just joist to joist, so I'm actually gonna frame out for a true attic drop-down ladder for ease of access for us, so we can get up there and do any maintenance and whatnot that we need to do just throughout the years. And as well, we're gonna offer a section of it. We'll section it off and put some plywood down. We're gonna offer a section of it to tenants for storage. So, just, you know, storage is great.
Storage is great.
You know, we like storage, and we assume tenants like storage.
Yeah.
We have been tenants up
Many
until now.
times, yeah.
Up until now, so.
Yeah, overall, you know, not nearly as much work as downstairs. Having the kitchen be relatively updated with the appliances and the granite is pretty huge, and being able to actually clean it was pretty clutch.
Yeah,
So
the
this,
toilet's probably the nicest thing in that bathroom. So we're
I know, that was the only thing that they cleaned. Like the toilet was actually like pretty reasonably clean, and nothing else was, which is
Yeah.
baffling. But okay,
okay,
I mean, I'm not
fixtures.
complaining. Don't get me wrong.
Update light fixtures, update faucets, fixtures in general. Just kind of just updates, things that need to happen that are, you know. Yeah, it's a livable space, but you also want to enjoy the space you're living in, and we would love to have long-term tenants. You know, we want people to be happy, so that's just stuff we don't have to think about and have to go through the headache of constantly rotating through people and whatnot. So,
Yeah, just because it's a rental doesn't mean it has to be crappy.
yeah, pretty much. So,
Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep you posted. Jeez. Okay, bye.